Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Get this squared up. Welcome to a Saturday morning edition of Morning Scone. My sincere apologies for being late. I have been dealing with a fussy 3-year-old this morning. So, life, y'all. So, let me get this camera framed up a little bit better. My apologies. All right. So, we are brought to, if you are new to the show, we are brought to you by Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix and Boudreaux's Margarita Mix. Great local product from Homa, y'all. So you can pick it up locally in the Baton Rouge area at at Alexander's, at Calandro's, or at Calvin's as well. So 3 great opportunities in the local stores in the greater Baton Rouge area to pick it up. E-commerce coming soon, so I'm excited to tell you more. But if you're drinking Bloody Marys this Saturday morning, or you're drinking margaritas this afternoon or this evening by the pool, use a local product. Boudreaux's Margarita and Bloody Mary Mix. Thank you so much to those guys for sponsoring Morning Scone. Fired up for it. So, appreciate everybody who's watching. As always, if you're new to the show, please hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it greatly. On the YouTube page, you'll get notifications whenever we go live or when videos are posted, and I'd greatly appreciate that. So, massive day for LSU athletics yesterday. Probably the biggest day for LSU athletics collectively in some time, man. Certainly it seems like in the spring anyway. So LSU beats Casey Mize, and then the football team gets the commit from Joe Burrow. So yeah, my apologies that it's late, Cajun Legacy, but I explained a bit ago. Been dealing with a fussy 3-year-old this morning, but we made it. We're always going to make it. So let me start with the LSU baseball. Then we'll go to Joe Burrow. So huge outing for Mikhail Hilliard, obviously. Let me start there. And yesterday we drew the parallel to the South Carolina series. So Hilliard did make it out of the second in Columbia, worst outing of the season. He came back a week later against Ole Miss. If you remember game 1 of the Ole Miss on a Thursday night, incidentally, comes out on that Thursday. LSU, it was Rollison against Hess. LSU was hanging in there. It was 3-3 when Hess left, and then the bullpen imploded. So they lost on that Thursday. Hilliard came back against Feigl and pitched the game of his life. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Hilliard was awesome, and that ended up being the only game they won in the series. So you fast forward, last week Hilliard was really, uncharacteristically bad against Alabama. Going into last night, coming off the loss in game 1, they're facing Casey Mize. They're kind of fighting for their season, and Mikhail Hilliard was fantastic. His final line on the night, he went 7 1/3 with 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Mikhail Hilliard was just awesome. 97 pitches. I actually had some people on Twitter asking, whenever Hilliard went back out there for the 8th, and then obviously that's where he met the end of his day. When he went back out there for the 8th, people were like, I hate when Paul Maneri leaves guys in there too long. Look, he had a 4-pitch 7th. The kid was at 89 pitches. He had a 4-pitch 7th inning. There's no reason to take him out at that point. So, and then as soon as he walked the guy and they got 2-0, they pulled him mid-count and brought in Todd Peterson. But we'll get back to Peterson in a second. But awesome for Mikhail Hilliard. He's given LSU a chance because when you look at regional play now, they need to win one more game, basically. You either win today and you're in at 16-14 in the SEC, regardless of what happens in the SEC tournament, or if you lose today, you win Tuesday in the SEC tournament, and you're in. Mikhail Hilliard kind of resuscitated LSU baseball for this season anyway last night, which was so great to see. Let me talk about the offense, and of course it's surprising whenever you run Casey Mize out of the game. Guy had 8 walks all year. By the way, Nick Coombs drew 2 walks off of Casey Mize last night. Calico! Went up there and battled, and the second walk, by the way, that ultimately is what chased Mize from the game. Coombs was down 1-2 and battled back to a full count and drew the full count walk. It was a big league at bat by Nick Coombs against the guy who's going to be the first pick in the draft. But one of the things that a lot was made of, obviously, Casey Mize's strikeout total, which he's sensational. But LSU struck out the fewest times in the SEC, and I've said this before, but LSU, their strikeout total isn't necessarily because they got a great eye or they're great contact hitters or anything like that. It's because they're aggressive. And they go up there and they're swinging early in counts, so seldom they get to 2 strike counts because they're swinging early in counts. And you kind of saw yesterday what happened there. So Casey Mize, through 4 innings, had 9 strikeouts. 9 of the first 12 outs of the game were strikeouts. Mize was awesome. But as he kind of got tired near the end of the game, he started elevating pitches, and that's what happened in the 6th. So, you saw Watson get the double. Duplantis got the single to get him home. Bain got the double where the kid in the left field, the guy in left field, dove and missed it. And then Cabrera went opposite field double, which was just beautiful, beautiful piece of hitting by Daniel Cabrera. And LSU, and then the telltale, though, was the final run of that inning, the 4-run 6, the telltale that Mize was nearing the end. He got Bo Jordan down 1-2. And if you remember the at-bat, Jordan struck out, Jordan had 2 strikeouts in the ball game. So he struck out twice against Mize, his third at-bat against Mize. And Jordan's up there, and he flails and misses awfully at the first 2 pitches. And he gets to a 1-2 count. And, this is where Mize had been just embarrassing LSU hitters, where they're defensive at the plate. It's 1-2. He throws something, 6 inches off the plate, and they're flailing at it. Mize threw a 1-2 pitch and grooved it to Bo Jordan. He ripped it in the left field, and that scored the final run of the inning. I think it was Cabrera that scored the final run of the inning. But that, in that moment, man, or no, I think it was Watson that scored. I think it was Cabrera. Either way, it's running together. But regardless, point is, Jordan ripped the pitch between short and third, and that's a spot where Mize had just been devastating up until that point. So you kind of knew he was near the end. And the reason that was so huge is because Hilliard gave up the 2 spot in the 5th, and LSU responded. Not only did they get those 2 runs back, but they gave Hilliard a lead. And then for the next 2 innings, Hilliard went out there and threw up zeros to make sure LSU maintained that lead. So awesome outing by LSU. And then I got to mention Todd Peterson. Todd Peterson. By the way, greatest thing I saw on Twitter yesterday. If y'all are on Twitter, go to Twitter. I retweeted this. Hold on. I got to tell you the person's account. Oh, please let me find it. Please. Oh, there it is. This guy, Preston Landry, at Preston Landry on Twitter, sent me a video of his daughter, who has to be like maybe 2, saying Todd Peterson. I could play it here for you, but I don't. Can you? Well. Anyway, that was the greatest thing I saw yesterday, was that little girl saying Todd Peterson. So we're crossing all demographics now on AFR with the Todd Peterson drop. But Peterson, like he did in the Arkansas series, Peterson inherited a 2-0 count. He comes back, he gets the fly out, he gets a strikeout. He's been like the emotional, as Cartwright would say, wheelbarrow guy out of the bullpen for LSU. Now, I was very surprised. I was texting with Hunt Palmer during the rain delay. And I was like, and Hunt said, bring back Peterson. Like, keep him hot here for an hour. Bring him back, and so you have all of your guns tomorrow for Game 3. And I'm like, he's done it before. Maneri's done it before. He did it with Gosman in the Super Regional in 2012 against Stony Brook, where Gosman got the final 3 outs of Game 1. They had the hour between games, and then Gosman came back and started Game 2. I'm like, he's done it before with delays like that. I said, but I kind of get the feeling he's going to come back with Bain. Like, I don't think he's going to bring Peterson back. He's going to come back with Bain, finish the game. He'll start Labus tomorrow and have Bush in the bullpen if he needs him for relief. And lo and behold, Peterson came out there and was throwing cheese in the 9th, which he's, a lot of guys won't let themselves get cold and then come back out. I don't know what routine Todd Peterson did during that delay. I'd love to find out to see how he stayed hot. But, man, to stay hot for an hour is a tough thing to do, and to come back out there and keep throwing gas. But he did it, and that was a huge spot for LSU. So Tigers win, and what you're kind of looking for as we move into the final day of the regular season is if you're keeping an eye on the standings. So it's basically this. Like, here are the scenarios. Excuse me, my Boudreaux's Margarita Mix and Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix sponsoring Morning Scone now. So go buy it. If you're looking for LSU's regional hopes, if they get today's game and win a road series against top 15 RPI team, they get to 16 and 14 in the conference, they're in. They're in regional play regardless of what happens in Hoover. If they lose today, they need to go win 1 game in Hoover. So then you start to look at the standings. And what you really want to avoid is the 8 seed, because if you're the 8 seed, even if you win that game, then you're playing Florida in the second round. So if you look at the standings as they are right now, LSU's sixth, and Luke Johnson on Twitter did a good job kind of breaking down the scenarios for LSU. But the bottom line is just win today. You're kind of keeping an eye on Kentucky, Vanderbilt as well, but win today, and that takes care of itself, and then you don't even need to keep an eye on it. So huge spot for LSU baseball, and just when you're ready to count them out after they were so lifeless on Friday night, or on Thursday night rather, in game one of this series, they come out and Mikhail Hilliard was just nails, and they feels like they kind of got some life, and now they come out today with AJ Labus on the mound for LSU against TBA for Auburn. I don't know that Auburn's announced their starter yet. I can look it up, but Labus, Maneri announced yesterday he was good enough to go today. So you've got Labus. If he falters, you've got Nick Bush, and everything sets up because you've got Matt Beck, who can give you extended relief if you need him. Of course, you can go to Bain if you need him. So you feel really good about how LSU's pitching shapes up today, whereas Auburn's best shot kind of to win the series would have been yesterday, obviously with Casey Mize pitching what's likely his last home game for Auburn. So let's see. Auburn's official Twitter has Elliot Anderson photograph there, so I guess he's the one that's going to get the ball for Auburn today. One other quick note as we say, I mean, this is in no way a quick note. I mean, this is a massive note. But the great Joe Burrow has committed to LSU. If you missed it, there was a first report yesterday while we were on air that a Cincinnati Enquirer reporter was breaking the news that Burrow was committing to LSU, and then Burrow last night tweeted that he can't wait to play in Death Valley this fall. So Joe Burrow's in. You know my feelings on this. I think Joe Burrow is today on paper a better prospect than any of the three guys LSU has in the room. He's at 21, at a 3-year start, not starter, but a three-year player going into his 4th year in college. 6'3", 210. He's kind of physically what they hope Miles Brennan will become, and he's 21 years old. So my assumption here is that Justin McMillan is going to leave. I said it as plainly as I possibly could that I cannot see a scenario where both Burrow and Justin McMillan are on the roster together. I just can't see that happening. McMillan's as a graduate, he can be a grad transfer and leave if he wants. My guess is that he will. I can't see him sticking around when they've basically replaced him as the veteran guy with Joe Burrow. So then after that, you look at the other two guys and you wonder, will both Brennan and Narcisse stick around? And they very well could lose one of those guys. And if I had to guess, it'd probably be Lowell. But you're taking a chance. And I get it. If you're at Ogeron and you're feeling pressure and you feel like you got to go make your team better today, and you feel like Burrow does that and you've got him for 2 years, then you go do it. My feeling is they wasted a year of development with Brennan because of the Matt Canada year. I mean, you basically spent his whole first year in college developing him in Matt Canada's offense, then you replace offensive coordinators and you're doing something completely different. And so you're behind now. You're back to square one, so to speak, with Miles Brennan. Whereas, if you had gotten him those reps last year, maybe it's a different scenario, and there's really no way that Burrow is considering LSU this year. But the fact of the matter is they went and got a dude that's 6'3", 210 with a big arm that Urban Meyer recruited to Ohio State that's got some mobility that they're excited about. Now, I don't think you're going to see the Vegas win total change, the over-under win total change at all. But to have a guy that you likely is going to be a 2-year starter for you, it's big. You feel like you instantly upgrade and you have a guy that's going to be your starter against Miami in Arlington, unless Miles Brennan can just come on huge this summer and just go win the job. But LSU got Joe Burrow. I understand the excitement from fans, and I don't blame fans at all for being excited and trying to latch on to some positivity. And it feels like it was a big get for LSU to fortify a position on the team that was a glaring weakness coming out of spring. So we'll start to get a look at Joe Burrow this summer. He'll be on campus for workouts, and then obviously for fall camp starting in late July, early August. But LSU appears to have their quarterback. Now the only question is with McMillan, when does he make his decision if he's going to stay or go? But I'll go on record as strongly as I possibly can saying I can't see a scenario where both McMillan and Burrow are on the roster together at the same time. So we'll see when that shoe drops, or if in fact that shoe drops. All right, let me put a button on this, y'all. Have a great Saturday. Again, my apologies for being a little tardy. Please go check out Alexander's, Calandro's, and Calvin's. Look for Boudreaux's. They've got the Margarita Mix and the Bloody Mary Mix. If you're going to be partying this Saturday, if you want a Saturday morning treat with the Bloody Mary, or afternoon by the pool, or evening, the Margarita Mix, go catch Boudreaux's, a Homa-based company. So we appreciate them very much, and it will be available online soon. But in the meantime, get it at those great retailers in the greater Baton Rouge area. All right, y'all have a great Saturday. We will be back tomorrow for Morning Scone. I kind of like the live edition. We'll see if we can do this more often. Meantime, y'all have a great day.